Hey guys and gals, I'm Elliott. This is Everything Elliott. We got the John Deere 50 behind me, and we're out behind the shop today. So, we got a lot of dirt work to do. Before we jump into this video, I want to let you guys know that this is a kid-friendly video. If you want your kid to sit and watch some excavation, they'll be able to do that. There's going to be no derogatory stuff in here, going to be no nonsense. This will be G-rated. So sit them down and let them enjoy. This is going to be the beginning of a series of fixing all the grade issues that are around my shop, to include the rear and the side where my wood yard is. So the first thing we're going to be doing is building a level pad out here. I have a plan for a structure out behind the shop for storage, so we need a level pad. Now the first, I don't know, 8 to 10 feet are already level. We want to bring it down a little bit, and we want to drag it back. We've got the pond behind us, so we can lose a lot of this dirt in the pond dam, but I can also lose a lot of dirt in the yard. I am by myself today, so running grade is going to be very difficult because I don't have a magnet for the side of the machine, for the side of the stick, basically. So my plan is get everything just kind of close, and then we can do a fine grade when I get somebody with me. To start things off, we are going to set up the laser, and we're going to find grade and see where it needs to be and what needs to come down. And I mean, I know that you can see how high the machine is, and having this grade high here really isn't ideal. It wasn't like this until I put the addition onto the shop. So we need to bring all this back, lose it in the pond dam, lose some in the yard, and make this all level, ideally sloping away from the shop. I don't know if we'll be able to accomplish that very well. What I'm essentially going to try to do is make this a big swale and then lead out here to the yard to where the drain tile is. But we're going to set up the laser because we need to find out what our elevation difference is and everything like that. And I was just going to set up the laser, and I thought to myself, if you guys aren't in the construction industry, you guys have almost fell there. You guys have probably seen people running lasers. You probably don't know how they work, so let's set it up together. All right, so I've already got the stand set up, which is really no big deal, but we've got the laser over here and the story pole right here. Let's get this opened up. I hope it's got batteries in it. Oh yeah. All right, this is the laser. This is the receiver. Receiver goes on the story pole. Let's go get this thing set. Basically just screws into here. Once it's locked down, turn it on. This little eye in here will self-level, and then it'll start spinning. All right, see it spinning there? Try not to look right into that, all right? Not really great for your eyes. So that is now shooting a level laser beam everywhere. Everywhere you can see, that laser beam is shooting perfectly level. So now what we do is we grab the story pole and we put the receiver on it. This is borrowed, so we got to keep it as clean as possible. And what I'm going to try to do, don't mind my camera, is pull the grade off the shop floor, right? This is going to be our initial grade. We want everything to be lower than the shop floor. So we'll turn the receiver on. We'll face it to wherever we need to be. All right, there we go. Let's loosen this up a little bit. All right, so we're at the about the 10 mark. So we want to be 2 inches lower. So we'll take it up, because if you move the receiver up, the hole gets deeper. So there's the 11, and there's the 12. So that should be our starting grade against the back of the shop. So this grade right here is already 2 inches lower than the shop. It's actually probably 4 inches. Let's come out here and see what this looks like. Perfect. This is also about 4 inches lower. We're going to be in really good shape here. I'm really excited about this. It's going to make my life easier because honestly, I thought the ground here was higher than it was over here. It looks that way by eye. Let's see what this looks like where the drain tile is. Yeah, we're about 6 inches lower than the shop floor. We're in really good shape. Since we're pulling away from the shop, I'd rather be low than high. So as long as we're low, we're good. It'll just make my pond bank a little more steep. What you normally can do with some of these receivers is you can actually take this, get rid of the story pole, and you can mount it on your excavator boom somewhere. And then what happens is basically you level your bucket and make your stick perpendicular to the ground, and then you can grab rough grade off that. But this doesn't have a magnet on it, and there's really no way for me to attach a magnet to it to make it work. So we're gonna rough grade everything. I'm just gonna start pulling material. We'll hog material out. I'll probably leave the laser set up, and then we'll, every like 30 minutes or so, I'll walk around and just double check everything. We're gonna pile everything behind us and just get after it. Got the 2-foot bucket on today, and I think that's going to probably be our best option. So, I mean, that's what's going to work best for sure. I know I'm probably going to all have to move this dirt twice, but whatever. All right, let's take a quick second and check grade, see how close we are. It looks pretty good. All right, so remember that this is currently set to 2 inches below the shop floor. Good there. All right, that's 2 inches below the shop floor there. We're doing good. This probably's got to come down. Yep, fast beat means down, slow beat means up. We're doing pretty good here. What's this at? Perfect. We're in really good shape. We're about starting to get into the deep stuff here though, because I still want to keep pulling this back. You can see how much dirt we're really pulling out of here, but I'm gonna have to get behind that pile or spin my machine around and push it with the blade because I can only reach so far. So let's take care of that. So this is where we're really gonna start moving dirt here. A lot of it here. All right, we're making pretty good progress. I'm gonna go grab the story pole and we're gonna grab grade again, make sure I'm low enough. Because like I said, I wanna be lower than higher. I can always build it back up, you know, when I put topsoil or whatever I put in here. So I'd rather be low. Let's go grab the story pole. We'll check it real quick. And then I need to get some water and ditch this hoodie because it's getting warm out. It's supposed to be 75 today. It snowed 2 days ago. We got 2 inches of snow 2 days ago. It's gonna be 75 degrees today. Insane. All right, keep in mind, this story pole is still set to 2 inches below concrete. Good, we're low. Excellent. This is probably gonna be a little high. Nope, that's low too, good. We're in really good shape here. If you have somebody, this is high. Yeah, it's a little high. Well, or it's dead nuts. Perfect. If you have somebody here with you, it's a lot easier because you can kind of pull grade as you're running the machine. You know, somebody standing out here with the grade stick telling you, hey, inch lower, inch higher, yada, yada, so on and so forth. That's how we dig basements. We've got somebody in the machine and somebody in the hole, and you know, you just start going around. Hey, this is the depth of the basement. You got to go deeper here. You got to go higher here. That's the name of the game. I think I mean, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go grab a tape after I get some water. I'm gonna go grab a water bottle, but I'm gonna grab a tape and I'm gonna start pulling a measurement here. I think I wanna be probably at minimum 20 feet, you know, dug out before I start my slope up to the pond bank. I might need to go back a little more. I don't know. We're gonna go grab a tape, see what it looks like, and go from there. All right, let's pull a tape from the blade to the building. Get a good idea where we're at. All right, so we're at 31 foot 6 inches. So I guess that's probably a good spot. 30 feet. The structure's 8 foot wide. So that'll give me 22 feet before. Yeah, I think we're gonna cut it off here. This will kind of be our line, and we'll just start working our way down. I'm gonna back up a little bit and start just, you know what? No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna leave this messy right here. And what we can do is, after we get the whole thing dug out, we'll grab the ditching bucket and we'll kind of come over here and smooth this out. I still don't have my tilting bucket working. That's coming up in the future. I have all the parts, I just don't have the time. I got all the mounting blocks and stuff to put the tilting bucket on the machine. I just haven't had the time to do it, so we'll have to use the static ditching bucket. I'm really happy with the way this is turning out. This is gonna be so much better. We're getting at least 3 feet of dirt out of here. All right, so let's get the machine moved, you know, on the next lane over here. That's probably good right there. Be able to reach over here, get all this. Yeah, we'll be in good shape. So guys, I kind of need your input here. I kind of want to know what you guys want to see. Is it, you know, on these excavation videos, is it something that you want to see like the full thing? Or do you want to see a bunch of time lapse with music? Obviously this one I'm going to edit, you know, probably speed everything up. But there's other channels that I watch, like Let's Dig 18, Andrew Camarada. I'm probably butchering his name. I think it's Camarada. You know, I watch their channels and they leave a lot of their stuff in real time. You know, is it something that you want to see? Do you want to see real-time excavation stuff? Because, you know, I do have stuff coming up here. Or do you want to see time lapse and music and stuff like that? I need your input because I really don't know what people want to see. And I know that there's going to be a difference between everybody's opinion, and I kind of just have to go with the masses. So, but the only way I know what you want is if you leave me a comment. So you need to leave a comment down below. What do you want to see? How do you want me to edit this video? I do all my own editing if you didn't know that. So not only do I do all this work in the shop and stuff, I taught myself how to use a computer and edit video, and I think I've gotten pretty good at it over the years. If you go back, oops, somebody's calling me. All right, before we were interrupted by my father-in-law, I'm actually going over to do a tree job at his house. It's a property dividing tree job between him and his neighbor. That's happening tomorrow. That'll be a video. It's actually supposed to rain, so I don't know how good of a video it's going to be. But before we were interrupted by that, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, what do you guys want to see? I need to know what you want to see on the videos. You know, I edit all my own videos, so I can do whatever I want to do. I just kind of need your input, and the only way I can get your input is if you do leave a comment. So make sure that happens. And I'll turn the camera back around now so you guys can see the excavator and not my ugly face. You know what I might actually do? I know I just said I would turn the camera back around, but you know what I might do with this video? Is I might make this a super long video. I did that before. I made a really long video. And if you do have kids, this is a kid-friendly channel. I do not swear, and if I accidentally do swear on camera, I always bleep it out, so kids aren't going to be hearing swear words. They're not going to see rude gestures. They might see me drink a beer here and there, but hey, that's pretty normal, you know. That's an adult thing to do. So maybe I'll make this long. That way, if you want to sit a kid in front of the TV and let them watch, oh, I don't know how long this video would be, but maybe an hour or so, or hour and a half of excavation work, they can do that. Because what kid doesn't like an excavator? I know my kid does. He sits and watches excavator videos all the time. He actually kind of gets bored of excavator videos because we have one. But I guess that's a good thing and a bad thing for him. Alright, let's get backed up here. We're starting to come up a little bit, so we gotta go down a little here. Once you start hopping in a machine and you really start, getting a couple hours on it, it's kind of easy to watch grade from eyeball. Getting close. As you can see, I dug pretty much that entire first pit by eye, and we're within grade, by 3 inches everywhere, which is not bad for sitting, 4 or 5 feet, 6 feet up in the air. Let's grab the laser. It feels deep now. It feels deep right here. But we'll use the laser to check that. All right, keep in mind, 2 inches below concrete. Yeah, we're good there. What do we hear? Good there. We're gonna be high here. Yep, we're high here. That's all right, we can grab that in the next thing. I'm pretty happy with low there, good. Like I said, rather be low than high. Yep. Because if I'm lower, that means no water is going to go to the shop. Not that it really ever came in the back of the shop. The issue I have is over in the woodyard. Water comes in over there. So we're trying to mitigate all the water. When I built this shop, I was poor and I didn't have enough money to bring the shop up any higher. And I'm paying for that now, but I'm in a better spot in my life. I can afford to do stuff like this. Obviously, I bought an excavator, so I can do stuff like this by myself, and I can afford to do it. So these are just things that you have to fix as you get older and get into more money, I guess, because you're making more, working more, and have a better job, I guess. All right, let's move the excavator over one more time, and probably once more, maybe, yeah, probably once more, and we'll be in good shape. Get this all dug out. Yeah. All right, here's the deal. We got this thing pretty much hogged out. We got it ready to rock and roll. I could tell you right now where I'm standing is lower than my yard. So we're making a pond back here, which is not ideal. But I am going to get some topsoil, and we're going to bring some stuff in here, probably some of this dirt, to be honest with you, and grade this all really nicely. In fact, you know what I could do? I wonder what the box blade would do to this stuff. That'd be kind of interesting to get the tractor and the excavator in one video. That might be a thing. Might be a thing. Let's do this first. Let's go get the ditching bucket. Let's clean up the edge. Let's make some sort of bank for this thing so it's not straight up and down. And then from there, we can grab the tractor and throw the box blade in here, see what it looks like. It's gonna be muddy, I bet. Which is all right. Yeah, let's do that. So now that we got the ditching bucket here, we can get some of this pile away. We need to do that first. So we'll go on the back side of the dirt piles and just pull them back a little bit to make some more room for the machine. And scrape some of this back. But I talked about all this already. I'm just rambling. All right, let's get this bucket turned around here so we can grab it with the excavator. And we'll take the 2-footer off. Put the 3-footer on. that we got that pretty good spread out, we got enough room to get the machine down bottom and start working on the bank a little bit, shaping it up. Now, I absolutely don't expect this to be perfect because I want to make it a gradual slope, you know, all the way to where the dirt is behind us. The problem with that is the dirt's behind us. And I need to use some of this dirt for the yard, so I can't start shaping everything just yet. This is kind of like a phase project. So we got phase 1 here, get some dirt. We got to fill in some dirt around the yard and you know, where I did drain tile and stuff. So this is phase 1. I just want to make it so if you fall in it, you're not going to snap a leg. You know, we'll make it a gradual incline. So when my son drives his power wheels down it inevitably, he doesn't really flip ass over tea kettle. Get some of these crumbs cleaned up while we're here too. I didn't move the dirt far enough away. Because boy, if I had a tilt bucket right now, we would be rocking and rolling. Let's see if I can make some more room here. Maybe to get further over. it out. All right, so phase one is almost complete. I'm gonna try the box blade on the tractor. I don't know if it's gonna work because this is so muddy. And like I said, this is going to be a much more gradual incline up to the pond dam. I just need to get rid of some of this dirt first before I can start, you know, making this incline work. But what I wanna do is bring the tractor with the box blade in here, maybe just scrape down a couple times, scrape across, try to just level things off because it's supposed to pour tomorrow. And we've created a pond, so I'd like to mitigate as much pooling as possible. And by leveling it off, that might do it. But it is, it's 12:19, so it's time for lunch. Union break time. All right, so here's the plan. We're gonna back up, scrape down, back up, scrape down, back up, scrape down. And then once we get the material down here, we'll pull it away. In a perfect world, that's how it's gonna go. We'll see how it works here. All right, let's start going across now. All right, well, step one of phase one is complete. It looks fine for what it is and what it needs to be. There's gonna be a lot of people saying, well, it's not done. I know it's not done. We need to lose all of that dirt in the yard and a lot of low spots that I have. So before I can transition it all the way up to the top of the pond bank, I gotta move that dirt and then we can transition it. Won't be a big deal, not gonna be hard, and we got it a little bit smoothed out with the tractor. The box blade doesn't work great in mud, and we got a lot of that here, but hey, we did our best. So yeah, leave a comment down below, guys. I need to know what you want to see on these excavation videos. Do you want to see time-lapse stuff? Do you want to see full-length stuff? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. It's free, and I'll catch you on the next one.